Welcome back, everyone. This is Tandile Kiso, and um, I just have a quick video to make. There's some happenings that are happening actually um, in East London. There's a place or some informal settlements called in a location called Bongweni, right? And what's happening there is very terrible, guys. It's very terrible. Um, Apparently these people built their homes in a place that belongs to the agricultural research what you know so I want to open up the story because I found it on Facebook. I saw a lot of them on Facebook, right? And so I want to be able to show you guys what's going on, and so that we can talk about it, because it's very terrible what's going on out there. And I don't think those people deserve what's going on. If especially when people have built those homes are beautiful, guys. Like those homes are so beautiful, and it's sad what's happening to them now, that they are being taken away from homes that they've built. But it also goes to show you, because those homes were also demolished, right? But it also goes to show you how fragile uh, our government is. In the first place, if there's a place that doesn't belong to the public, something needs to be done, or people need to be informed that, hey, this land, because people are they take chances, and they have finessed a lot of people out of their money, because obviously when you see a place, you want to buy land so that you are able to then you know build, and in our case, you want to make sure that you have a home of your own, so that then it becomes said. um Let me see if you guys can see my screen. Here are the pictures of the demolished homes. Look, double story homes, bruh. Double story homes, bruh. That this is not good, man. And I was watching it. You can see the comments. Indlu enhle kanje kunzima ukwakha imali engaka. Yeah, those people have lost a lot of money. That's for sure. And then the second person says it's sad because of the amount of money they put put in it. But on the other hand, they deserve it. You just can't take land that doesn't belong to you and build on it. That is very true. But now um, what happens is people don't even do research. That's the bad thing. People don't do their research. They just decide to do something, and they do it without checking the consequences of their actions. This is terrible, man. This is terrible. There's a guy that was that they wanted to interview, and he didn't want to have a word, because you can imagine what was going through his mind. This person is saying, abantu bakuthi kufuneka bayazi ukuthi xa uthenga umhlaba ziziphi izinto kufuneka bazifune kumntu. Otherwise umhlaba first yi-ownership yokuba ngumhlaba wakhe ngempela lo awuthengisayo. Title deed for the land. If ayikho, don't even start building. um don't start building a permanent structure kulo mhlaba. Yithathe as undlovile. All right. um he's saying don't even build a permanent structure. I'm saying don't even build at all. Look where um they haven't. Just go find legit land, basically. That's what I'm saying. Hundreds of residents, this is from the Daily Dispatch, hundreds of residents of the Bongweni, I don't know this Bombini thing they've mentioned here. This is Bongweni. Bongweni informal settlement were left homeless on Tuesday, with the large-scale demolitions near King Palo Airport abruptly halted after allegedly that the sheriff had been using the wrong court order. Oh! Bongweni Demolitions paused with legal steps underway to stop evictions. Wait, what? What about the people that they have goodness? So who gets to pay now? Now let's say this was all a mistake, or well, even if it was a mistake, still the land is not theirs. But the court processes, I think the proper court processes need to be followed. And so what happens if those were not properly followed? Do those people now get sued, and so that these people get their money? What happens? This is sad. I'm saddened the situation. So some ended up sleeping like this after the demolition in this cold. That's terrible, bro. That is so terrible. What country are we living in? Look at the damage this has caused, man. Look at the damage. This is terrible. Okay, let me read here. It says, EFF Eastern Cape stops demolition in Ward 31 as families face crisis. The economic freedom fighters in the Eastern Cape have moved swiftly to stop the demolition of homes in Ward 31 after receiving urgent pleas for help from affected residents. The party accuses the ANC-led government of carrying out destruction operations that have left families homeless and without any alternative accommodation. EFF provincial leaders and public representatives who arrived in the Bongweni on Wednesday discovered more than 20 brick houses already torn down, with officials preparing to demolish even more structures. Tensions rose when the sheriff and SAPS officers at the scene allegedly acted with hostility toward the FFF delegation, refusing to engage with them despite an urgent court application filed by the community. The matter was scheduled to be heard at 4, with residents seeking an interdict to stop the demolitions. The AFF arrival brought the operations to a halt, providing temporary relief for distressed families and preventing further destruction. The party says it will continue monitoring the situation closely. Should the court interdict fail, the AFF Eastern Cape says it is ready to explore every available legal and political avenue to protect the community of Bongweni. This party insists that no community should be subjected to what it calls cruelty, neglect, and abandonment of responsibility by government authorities. The EFF reaffirmed its commitment to safeguarding the rights, dignity, and safety of the residents of Ward 31. Now, what happens to those that have had their homes demolished? That's where my issue is now. Is that what happens to those people that have already lost a lot? What will happen to them? So for me, this is where it turns. It's sour, It's sour because now there's people that are homeless. There's people that don't have homes anymore. People have lost thousands, their investment in these homes, right? But you can also see that this is political. It's turning into politics now, because once you enter EFF and ANC, and I must say, ANC, hey, it's not doing good in the Eastern Cape. It's not doing good at all. And so when these things are now happening, it's not going to get better. I think it was one of the few communities where the ANC won the elections. And this happens under their nose and they do nothing about it. Come on, man. Because I had also read a story where they were contacted and they wanted nothing to do with the situation. They said, nope, we have nothing to do with that. That's not in our hands. Basically not doing anything about the situation, which is sad. I think politics, man, have stopped being about the people and have become about people's pockets. I don't know much about politics, but I can only imagine that when you're a politician, your first priority is your community, is the communities that you serve and protect and provide for. And the communities that I see out there, they live in terrible conditions. There was also a story about um, the funeral parlors. No, not the funeral parlors, but the graveyard in Hill. Um, what's this place now? It's not Hillbrow because I thought of Hillbrow. Um, but in Cambridge, yes, there's a the graveyard there is in a terrible condition. And when the people of the ANC were asked what's going on, do you guys know about this situation? They say, oh no, just there. It's there's nothing bad had there, other than a few rubbles and all that stuff. And the reporter was like, I was just there today. It's terrible. The grass is up here. The graves are nowhere to be found because there's too much grass, and some people are also building these informal settlements on top of the graveyards. It's terrible, man. The situation in the Eastern Cape, in East London specifically, is terrible. And I happen to live here, and so I know what I'm talking about. When I'm going to Berlin in my rural areas, those areas towards Berlin, terrible roads, terrible. You try to get to the place and you find blocks of rock on the road, and cars have to pass through. So it's terrible there. Even the councillors there, they just doing nothing, man. So it's bad. It's bad for the ANC. So they either need to pick it up, do some damage control, or just lose it to ANC. I'm sorry, to EFF or whoever will come. I don't know. I'm not into politics. I don't remember the last time I voted, because first time I voted was back in 2000. I was back in 2012, and that was the last time I voted, because I am not going to waste my vote voting for people that don't really have my interests at heart, you know. Um, and I must say they nah, I'm not gonna even give them airtime. Yeah, last time I voted was when I first made my ID. Then that was back in 2012, and that was the last time. And I still need to get sold into the idea for me to vote again. In this situation that we are living in, where there are no jobs available, people are struggling, suffering, people are losing jobs. Instead of making more jobs, people are losing jobs. That's a terrible thing that's happening. And I live in the Eastern Cape. I live in East London. Mercedes Benz is also going through a rough time. They've just recently, I think it's this year, if not last year, they dropped 700 people. 700 people lost their jobs. So it's a terrible yeah, that was early this year. So it's a terrible situation that is currently happening in the Eastern Cape, and I'm not a fan. And someone will have to, they will have to do something big to convince me to vote again. So that's the situation we find ourselves in, man. And it's sad that we are in this situation right now. But if there are any stories that I can pick up for you guys, I'll definitely do that. Um, but for now, it's audios to me. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out. Also, remember to like, subscribe, and share this content if you enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it, please share anyways. Help a brother out. Dango.